You're about to experience a terrifying and fascinating story from the DC Universe. The man who dared to try to cure the Joker and what happened when everything went wrong. In the next few minutes, we'll explore intense psychological encounters, risky strategies, dangerous manipulations, and moments that prove Gotham's most chaotic mind cannot be tamed. Stay until the end, because every detail will surprise you and show you that some minds simply cannot be fixed. It all started with a renowned psychiatrist, known for his courage and experience in extreme cases. He believed he could reform even Gotham's most dangerous criminals, including the Joker himself, the clown prince of crime. Using innovative methods and complex psychological approaches, he sought to create a safe environment to study and treat the villain. In the first few sessions, it seemed like progress was being made. The Joker reacted in unexpected ways, sometimes cooperating, other times simply observing with that terrifying smile everyone knows. But it soon became clear that nothing about this man was predictable. Every attempt at therapy seemed to backfire on the psychiatrist, who began to realize that the Joker's mind wasn't just sick, it was impenetrable, unpredictable, and deadly. The first critical mistake was underestimating the Joker's level of intelligence and manipulation. He quickly realized the psychiatrist's intentions and began exploiting every weakness, every insecurity, and every fear of the man trying to fix him. Session after session, the Joker created psychological challenges that tested not only the psychiatrist's physical limits, but also his emotional and moral ones. Each small victory seemed merely an illusion, setting the stage for an even more dangerous turn of events. The second mistake was an over-reliance on planning. The psychiatrist believed that science, logic, and proven methods could tame chaos, but the Joker didn't follow rules. He created his own. Every mental test, every carefully crafted experiment was turned by the villain into a deadly game, in which the psychiatrist became the true prey. As the days passed, the situation intensified. The Joker began manipulating the environment, the objects around him, and even the psychiatrist's thoughts, creating a constant sense of threat and paranoia. It was impossible to predict the villain's next move. Every decision seemed like a calculated trick to break the minds of those who dared to confront him. The psychiatrist began to feel genuine fear, an emotion he had never experienced in his entire career. What happened next was even more disturbing. The Joker began to exploit the psychiatrist's repressed memories, painful recollections, and old traumas. He turned the therapy into psychological torture, using every insight from the past against the man he believed could save him. Each attempt to control the situation increased the chaos, making it clear that the Joker could not be cured unless understood, if that were possible. The turning point came when the psychiatrist decided to use bolder experimental methods. He created simulations of moral scenarios, extreme tests, and complex psychological games, believing he could induce changes in the Joker's behavior. But each attempt only reinforced the villain's madness and deepened the manipulation. The tables had turned. The psychiatrist was now in a position of extreme risk where any mistake could have fatal consequences. The Joker, with his cunning and cruel sense of humor, turned each test into a trap, demonstrating that not even the most brilliant scientist could predict his next move. The psychological strain was unbearable. Each moment became a test of sanity and courage, reminding the audience that some minds are truly dangerous. At a certain point, the psychiatrist realized he had underestimated something essential. The Joker wasn't just seeking survival. He wanted to turn every interaction into a psychological experiment, using fear and human vulnerability as weapons. Each session became a duel of wits, mental strength, and emotional resilience. Even with all his knowledge and experience, the man who tried to cure the Joker was on the verge of collapse. What followed was a terrifying lesson in limits and arrogance. Science and logic have power, but in the face of absolute madness, they can become irrelevant. The Joker is not just a villain. He is the embodiment of chaos, an adversary no one can fully control, no matter how experienced or skilled. In the end, the psychiatrist survived, but was forever changed. He understood that some minds cannot be fixed. They can only be observed, studied from a distance, but never controlled. Gotham remains vulnerable to the clown prince of crime, and his story serves as a warning. Trying to cure the Joker is to plunge into a deadly game where the limits of sanity are tested and the rules are set only by the villain. This narrative shows that the real danger lies not only in physical violence, but in manipulation, strategic intelligence, and unpredictability. The Joker remains a challenge that redefines the concepts of heroism, madness, and courage, reminding the audience that some forces simply cannot be tamed. If you enjoyed this curious, terrifying, and intriguing story about the man who tried and failed to cure the Joker, and want to explore more secrets, psychology, and dark stories from the DC Universe, don't forget to subscribe to the Nerd Multiverse channel, activate the bell, leave a comment telling us what you would do in the psychiatrist's place, and share this video with your friends. At Nerd Multiverse, we always bring you mysterious, scary, and fascinating stories, showing that not every villain can be defeated and that some psychological games are truly deadly.